Instagram worked first. I am streaming to like 5 different places. So I am streaming on Instagram up here, and then I have YouTube and Facebook down here. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, now I'm live. Hi, Rejuvenix Wellness Bar. I'm going live in a couple of places, so I'm just waiting for some people to come on, but I wanted to talk about fear today. Let me see. I wanted to talk about fear because I was doing some, let me see. Oh, I was doing some clarity calls yesterday, and I noticed that a lot of nurses were basically wanting to get past their fear of starting a business. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about fear, why we shouldn't let fear stop us. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Hey everyone joining. I am broadcasting excuse me, on Facebook and YouTube down here, and then Instagram up top. So if I'm not looking directly into the camera, that's why. But I wanted to talk today about fear because I noticed that in doing my clarity calls, a lot of people have fears of getting started, right? You have this business idea, or you're thinking of moving jobs or moving states or anything, right, that you have a fear about. So I noticed that a lot of the nurses were letting the fear talk themselves out of it. When we got on the phone and started our call, I seem to be able to calm that fear down. And that's what's the importance about having community and someone you can walk with in business, is having someone to tell you to let go of that fear is false, and to keep pushing for your dreams and your goals. If you guys have any questions and comments, please leave them in whatever chat you're in. I can see them. Okay. So the first thing on how to combat fear is that you guys have to know fear will always be there, right? So business owners who've been in the game 20 plus years, they still are fearful. They're still scared to take a leap, or anxious or nervous about how a business move is going to go, but they still do it anyways. And that's what we have to get to, the point that we know that fear is always going to be there. But what you have to learn to do is you have to learn to have your toolkits of things that you can pull upon when you start having fear. So recently I was having, fear about things in my business, about which move I should take. And I instantly realized that it was a fear I was having, and that I was having a mental block somewhere in there, and that I had to switch that off. So what I started to do, I started to listen to motivation, inspiration, started reading my Bible more, praying more, and just knowing that that was a mental setback and it was a fear, but I knew it wasn't real, right? I knew that it was just me. And now I'm to the point where I'm like, where is that coming from? Um, what happened before that this fear is really getting me to this point where I'm stressing about it. And once I started to do that, I started to remind myself, right? Versus before, I may have set on making a decision for weeks or months, or just been really fearful and say, I'm not going to do it, or do something else that was subpar, not, go as big as I wanted to go because I was living in fear. That's what I may have done before. But now I knew that, okay, when I'm starting to have these thoughts of fear, I know they're not real. I'm just going to push even harder or dig even deeper in my toolkit and pull out the things that I need to help me overcome this fear. And I definitely was. And that also included talking to my sisters in my inner circle, my community of nurse entrepreneurs, talking to them. And in talking to them, I was able to definitely get rid of my fear, because they were definitely able to see what I was not able to see at that time. And they were able to almost be on the other side of the bridge, right? So if we're here and then here's fear is that bridge of getting over, having a community, having someone to be able to pull you over that bridge and say, it's going to be okay. You're going to do this thing and you're going to kill it when you do it, right? So that's why community is so important to me, going back to that. But just know that fear will always be there. Always. It's always going to be there. It's always going to come up a little fear when you're trying to do something, especially when you're trying to step out of your comfort zone and make a big move, something that you don't normally do. You're going to have fear, but just know that you can get past that fear, and it's just fear. It's not real. Let me put this up here. It's just fear. It's not real. And it's just a thought that's in your head, right? Which leads me to my next thing is, which I alluded to before, is that fear is made up, right? Fear, the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. So you have false or no evidence of something that appears to be so real. So that's all that fear is. It's just something made up in your head. And especially, for me, women, a lot of times, fear is almost a way of procrastinating and not making those tough decisions. I don't know if any of you guys, if you've ever experienced that, where you are fearful of something, but deep down inside, you really know you're kind of procrastinating and you're being slow to make decisions. And I recently took a challenge by Rachel Rogers. If any of you guys know Rachel Rogers, if any of you guys have not read the book, We Should All Be Millionaires, I highly, highly suggest that you read that book, especially if you want to get, or if you want to make a move in some sort of way, but you're saying you don't have time, money, this or that. You should definitely read that book. But what the challenge with Rachel Rogers showed me this week is that I have to get better in making decisions fast. I can't keep sitting on decisions and being fearful and thinking about it and being slow to make these decisions that are really going to move the needle forward in my business. So fear is just false things that you've made up in your head to appear real, but you have no evidence that those things are real. That's what fear is. So we have to know that and remember that and really get in tune with ourselves to know what your emotions are and know, is this fear? And that's why I think that nurses are really emotionally intelligent, maybe not sometimes with ourselves, but we need to recognize that these are made up ideas in our head and they're not coming from, we have no evidence of it. We have no evidence that the business is going to work out because we never even started it. We have no evidence that we're going to lose our money because, again, we haven't even started, especially if you're under the sound of my voice and you hear me talking about coaching all the time, especially getting up under someone. If you found a coach now, stepping out blindly, and I will probably be more fearful of that. But still, at the end of the day, it's just my personal things and my fear. I need someone to walk me through things. So especially if you have someone to walk you through the thing that you're trying to do, why are you being fearful? Trust your intuition, trust your gut, trust that you know how to read people and you know who speaks to you and speaks your language, and go with that person and let them help you get to your next step. But don't let fear let you sit and him and haw, and I want to start the business, but now's not the time. We can get into all the other excuses later, but I'm just talking about strictly fear. We have all these excuses and made up thoughts in our mind that we have no evidence that they're real, but we let them affect us so bad. So think about that next time when you feel fearful. You're like, is this real? Do I really have evidence of this? Just because so and so tried and it didn't work for them, that's not me. I know that I'm not going to let myself fail and that I'm going to see this through to the end. So you have to talk to yourself and really get in tune with your emotions and know. I'm drinking my coffee. Talk to me in the comments, you guys. Have you ever had a moment of fear where you really have to talk yourself through it? Or are you fearful now about something? Let me know. I want to converse because fear is just stopping a lot of people. I've been doing clarity calls this week and everyone is just scared. Everyone is just scared. And we have to stop being scared. What if I was scared? I was scared. And I was doing it on my own. I took a class. That class really, it motivated me, but it didn't set me up with the step by step to do stuff. So was my business perfect in the beginning? No. If some people busted in, would I have got shut down? Maybe. But all I did was take it step by step, day to day at a time. Found a community, found other people, found groups, found Facebook groups, found people in my community, and I got together and got to talking, hit people up in the DMs, asked them, hey, have you ever experienced this? What do you do this? How is your structure set up? Talk to people. And then I changed the things as I went along, but my business was not perfect when I first started. So please stop waiting for perfection and having these fears, because they're just procrastinate. They are just procrastinations. You are just procrastinating on doing the thing because you're fearful. So we have to stop letting fear stop us. First, we talked about that fear will always be there. Um, and then I said that fear is something that's false, that's made up in our head based on past experiences. It's fairy tales that we tell ourselves to prevent us from doing the thing that we need to do. It could be based on childhood issues. You can have fear, but those are childhood things. This is now you've grown. But third, I want to get into if you have tried on your own and you cannot get past your fears, that is still not an excuse not to do the thing. You need to find a therapist. Honestly, if you are so scared to do the thing, but it keeps you up at night, you can't stop thinking about it. You see signs everywhere that you should be starting this business, but you still have this fear of doing so, then you need to sign up with a therapist and let them help you walk through that. I am telling you, a therapist was one of the best things that I could have done. And a lot of what me and my therapist talk is about business stuff. She owns her own big, thriving practice. So she understands the entrepreneur mind, the family. She has a family, so she understands that aspect. So a lot of what we talk about is like the superwoman syndrome and overcoming fear and all those things. So if you cannot get past the fear on your own, then you need to go see a therapist. And guys should have a therapist anyways. Like, it's a non-negotiable having a therapist. I talk to my therapist probably like every 3 months. And what usually happens is I talk to her every 3 months, and then I talk to her and I'm like, wow, I've been needing that. And then I'll see her like, once a month for another 3 months. And then I might go, might be okay. And then in another 3 months, have to do it all over again. So it's not like you have to be talking to a therapist every week or twice a week. Just find a therapist who you can bounce these ideas off of and let them know that you have fear and you don't know why you have it or where it's coming from, but you have this burning desire to do this thing, and you cannot get over it, and you need them to help you. And that's what therapists are for. Okay, we spend money on everything else except for ourselves. So please, if you're under the sound of my voice and you have fear and you cannot get past it, go see a therapist. Best decision you'll ever make. So that was on my heart today, and I just wanted to share that. We have to stop letting fear keep us from doing what we know we can do, because you guys can do it. If I could do it, as I always say, if I can have the audacity to step out and start a business during a pandemic after having a baby by myself, you guys can do it too. And I'm here to help you. So please, if you are on Instagram watching, I am streaming to my YouTube. I also have a Facebook group. These are all, the links are all in my bio on Instagram, to my Facebook group, and also my YouTube channel where I do lots of videos. So if you're looking for, or if you're an aspiring nurse entrepreneur and you need some encouragement, or you need to see how to start your IV hydration business, please go over to my YouTube and watch those videos. I set a date. I'm having a webinar coming up, and probably in 2 weeks. I forgot the exact date, but it's in 2 weeks. You will be seeing more information on that. It's a webinar about my business program that I'm titling it Nursing Differently, because I really want nurses to know that there's different ways to nurse, especially if you are looking to be a nurse, a nurse entrepreneur. So I'll be doing a webinar about that course, and that course is going to be really good because I want to deep dive into what it takes to start and run a business. So as you guys know, I teach IV hydration courses, and even though I can teach you how to start a business, some people still, now we have great success with our students. Out of every cohort, we have had at least 1 to 2 people start their business. And the last couple cohorts, we haven't had many people because we've been busy and we haven't been marketing. But it's a great class, and a lot of them have started and their businesses are up and running. But I say that to say that there are some who I will teach how to start this business, and they won't, because they have fear. So, or because, they have this fear, or they're overwhelmed. And in my course, I will teach you how to prevent those things, and to even know before you even start a business, do you really want to start a business? Maybe you'll take my course And maybe you'll invest in my course, but you'll invest that money. And at the end of it, you'll say, I don't want to start a business. That is not what I want to do. And that's fine. Wouldn't you have rather invested a little bit of money to find out that you don't want to spend a larger amount of money on starting and running a business because you just realize you don't have the time to do it? And that is a very real example. I've helped several people start businesses, and then months later, they're like, oh, I can't, I don't have any customers because I can't market because I'm working 6 days a week, and then my kids have soccer practice and basketball. And I'm like, you didn't know this before you started the business? Like, you have to have some time to invest in your business. You have to find that time. So it's about, even though you might have a busy schedule, let me help you find the time. I am a mom of two small children, 2.5 and 1 years old. I have a husband. I have a couple businesses. I still work per diem at the hospital. So I'm doing a lot. So, and I'm still figuring it out, but I can definitely help you to at least carve out the hours to start your business, especially in the beginning. So this class is going to teach you all those things. We're going to come together, and then we're going to have community where you guys can talk to each other about how you're starting your business, what tips and tricks you guys do to help you get your business off the ground. And it's just going to be an amazing community, this course that I am rolling out. So webinar in 2 weeks, and then the course will probably start a week or two after that. It'll go for 6 weeks. We will meet every week, in which we will talk it out. Whatever type of business you want to start, I will be able to help navigate you. If you don't know what business you want to start, I will help navigate you as well. I have a plethora of resources and nurse coaches who are doing pretty much everything that I've heard that nurses want to start. So if you want to start that business, I know. And I love for nurses to use their knowledge, their genius, and start a business off of that. If you are a wound care nurse of 15 years, start your own wound care business. Like, let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's just be able to work for yourself and create the life and create the freedom that you really want. Today, I'm doing some videos. I'm answering some emails. I'm going to have lunch with friends. I'm coming home. I'm doing more business work, and then I'm going to get my kids. That's my day. Like, I'm not at the hospital anymore breaking my back. But that's just because I made the decision. So that's all I wanted to say. You guys, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am at like 900, maybe almost subscribers, and I'm really trying to get to 1,000, because once I get to 1,000, things start rolling. I can start being monetized and offer you guys better premium videos, because that was my plan. When I get monetized on YouTube, that is when I will, because it's expensive to get. So you do a video, let me just tell you, you do a video on YouTube, and to get it edited by like a really good editor, it's like $300 per video just to get it edited. So I told myself I will hire someone to help me do that once I get monetized. So please go over to my YouTube channel. The link is in the bio. If you are on Instagram, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel so you can know when I pop out videos. Another thing, I've recorded like 5 or 6 videos on my phone, but I can, every time I try to upload them to the editor that I have now to try to put them on YouTube, it fails. But these are just struggles of a business owner, and it is okay. But yeah, so be on the lookout for that. If you guys have any videos or topics you want me to talk about or discuss, please leave them in the comments. Have a wonderful day. Do something for yourself today, and don't let fear stop you anymore. All right, guys. Bye.